I've taken a look at a few dozen different upcoming titles with this Recon review series. While I typically intend on at some point doing a full review of the final product at some point, I have finally found myself doing an updated look at a title. This title is the FPS dino shooter Dino Tauma, being developed by Phobia Interactive. While I'd love to be covering the second of 3 episodes, this has yet to be released. However, there have been notable updates to the game which I'd like to take a look at. This title is still in early access, and the developer has been keeping regular updates on the progress and performing multiple fixes, so I'm confident in the product. The first major update is the addition of story elements. The original product had some story with the environment, from knowing that the location was in Eastern Europe and that the company involved with the dino production is Genomza. There were also PDAs defined, shedding a bit of light on the events and introducing the technology known as the Gate. Updated content includes naming the character Grant, who I'd like to take some credit for. We don't even know who we are. I propose we name our protagonist Grant Your Carver, because the classic, The Hunter from the Future, and Far Cry. I just like Far Cry. You are an operative deployed by some sort of organization with the goal of recovering a Dr. Whisk, who is head of the non-weapons part of the facility. Your second objective is to investigate what was going on inside the facility. This is all told to you by your handler, Asia, who is currently just text. The game now opens with the player's new hub. While originally the game was linear, level to level, you can now back out to this RV and manage a variety of skills, watch tapes you recover from the levels, buy supplies and equipment, or simply upgrade your gear. All of this is handled with the game's currency, which is earned from killing dinosaurs. So finally, the combo meter and points earned have a usage in-game. I will say it's a bit odd being able to teleport back considering the levels bleed into each other, which is really nice. Not a serious complaint, more a note I wanted to make. Also, far as I can tell, the upgrades have no limit, so long as you have points. Doing a playthrough I could probably have managed without upgrading, but did touch up my health a bit. The game is actually a bit more challenging too. While standard enemies aren't the most dangerous, the elites seem to have been tweaked as they come off much faster and more aggressive. The player may be a pinch slower, but I really couldn't tell. Also, I don't recall if the Stegosaurus had this attack or not previously. I will say, animations do still need to be worked on. The main menu has this cool pose of the raptor, which we never see in game. I understand this is at best a small team, but I hope to see them make it so at least the dinosaurs turn more naturally, especially the raptors. Given that this game is inspired by Dino Crisis, I'm reminded of how fluid the raptors there could be. The levels are designed very well, and you feel like you're exploring an actual site, so it'd be nice to fight enemies who maneuver it naturally. And the developer added corpses, which makes it feel even more natural. The bosses in the game seem a bit easier also, though I stand by the raptors in the T-Rex fight are a bit overkill. The weapons received notable changes. First and foremost, you may notice the redesign. The shotgun has been changed from what looked like a sort of Mossberg to a SPAS 12, I suppose as a nod to our short-lived Dino Hunter. The pistol originally resembled a 92F Beretta and now has a slide of a Glock, which sadly does not slide. In fact, let me nitpick a moment and just say that the shells of the shotgun should only be ejected during the pump portion of the animation, not when the trigger is squeezed. That aside, the SMG's got a touch-up to more resemble Uzis. The crossbow is a bit prettier, and the laser hasn't really changed at all. Apart from the visuals, they've also been stripped of alternate fires, at least initially, as now you purchase them through the RV upgrade station. I like this, adding just a bit more worth to the combo system. The kick and stun rod still remain rather useless, with me only using the kick on small enemies to save ammo and on boxes. I will say the pistol upgrade and the SMG upgrade are rather redundant. The pistol can be made in a full auto, while the SMG can be made semi-automatic. The latter is odd since you can just tap the fire button or simply perform short controlled bursts. The pistol doesn't share ammo with the SMG, and so making it automatic just makes it another SMG. Honestly, making it burst or allowing the player to use 2 pistols at once would make a little more sense. Upgrades give no visual difference, so the shotgun is working off the Half-Life 2 logic. I feel like 3 shots at once is a bit overkill, and considering it's a SPAS 12, I feel like something more creative could be used, like slug rounds for longer range with without the spread, or even incendiary rounds. Audio would also glitch or crack sharply if more than one thing was affected from an explosion, especially if 2 explosives went off at once. Finally, there's the 2 new added zones. While playing through the campaign, you unlock stations in the RV, as well as a horde map. It's enjoyable and isn't a simple open map to engage various enemies. Instead, it's a series of indoor and outdoor environments with weapon pickups unlocked upon completion of waves. A fun distraction and a decent way to grind out some points for upgrades. The second is tied to the Crisis meter, unlockable with 30k points, and a defeating of the T-Rex in episode 1. 30k wasn't much, as I was able to average about 15k with one playthrough of level 1. Upon unlocking it, you earn the abandoned area, which might just be outside the RV. View this as a task-driven mercenaries mode. You spawn in with a random set list of objectives, ranging from killing a number of specific dinosaurs to turning on generators and recovering data off of corpses. All the while, a timer ticks down and tougher enemies spawn, some of which aren't even in the current campaign. It's a fun distraction and earns material to upgrade to the next tier of Crisis. There's only 2 with a third to come. That said, the campaign is altered upon upgrading the Crisis level. The levels are now littered with side objectives as well as extra challenges. New spawns, tougher enemies, pink eggs that when destroyed spawn a horde attack. It really adds to the replayability of the episode. Though some stuff like visitor passes has no current use. I do have a bit of a complaint, and that is that ammo is shared across all modes. A complaint may not be the correct word, but it is something that the player should be aware of. Luckily, the RV has a store of ammo, and secrets refresh upon replaying them, so the kitchen secret can let the player stock up on ammo and points. Yeah, there's 2 ways to play the game. Fresh start, where your weapons are stripped away from you, so how it was originally, and now you can play where everything carries over. I am a bit confused on what the tone of this game is trying to be. You have clear inspiration from Dino Crisis, and moments that seem to want to reflect a survival horror, but the moment-to-moment gameplay is much more action-driven, and ammo, even when pistol starting, isn't hard to come by. I suppose I'd relate most to the original Doom 3, not BFG edition, but the original, where it falls into the action horror category. You want to make shots count, but you're never truly on the back foot or conserving ammo like a Dino Crisis or a Resident Evil. And a small tangent, but the music can be a bit annoying. When on the final level, I feel like it shouldn't start blaring until we drop in and the T-Rex spawns. Finally, I want to bring up that about halfway through, there's mention of a Genomza Black Ops Alpha and Bravo team on site. They're the ones who set up the sentry guns. Makes me wonder if there's plans for any human enemies down the line, or even the possibility of some faction combat with Genomza mercs fighting dinos while we navigate the chaos. No matter what, I hope to see the game improve and come out strong. The only other game I can think of right now compared to is Compound Fracture, but that dev hasn't so much as released a gameplay demo, so I can't really say much. I hope both are great on their launch days. Also, will the dialogue remain text only? I mean, if the dev is looking for voice actors, I'd happily contribute. All I ask for is a signed copy of the game and a freshly minted $2 bill, kissed with coral blue No. 2 semi-gloss lipstick.
Actually, it's coral blue No. 2.